main event that we got. We got Jon Plumber Moxley taking on Pizzarey Uno of the Dark Order in a single match as a main event of a nationally televised wrestling program. And at least by the time they did the entrances and the break came back up, we only had 8 minutes on the air because they knew what they were going to get anyway. And you got to give it to him. Old Fat Uno, he thinks he knows what he's doing, and he was trying his best, but it looked like they took some fat guy from the Golden Corral, dressed him up in a Halloween outfit, and told him to go out and beat the piss out of a homeless guy under an overpass. That, again, visually, is the opinion that anybody that doesn't already live in this bubble would have had if they see this. And it's embarrassing. So anyway, Uno starts out biting Moxley while he's wearing a mask that covers his entire mouth. And then Badass took his jacket off. And his boobs are bigger than half the female roster, and his ass is wide enough to show a drive-in movie on. Every time he ran across the ring hitting the ropes, I was afraid he was going to black both his eyes. Again, Moxley ripped the guy's mask. People are booing Moxley now, at least, so they figured out he's the heel. At one point, fat-ass cannonballed Moxley off the top to the floor. And I even felt sorry for Moxley at having that fucking sack of wheat landing on him from that height. And then he threw like a dozen fake punches at Moxley's head, and most of them missed plainly and obviously because they had a close-up of it. I don't know what, again, indie wrestlers. And of course then Moxley had to get juice on the guy, so he run his head into the stairs, and then he walked away to draw the attention of the camera and the crowd. And they almost had it on this one, but apparently old Pizzarey Uno is not an experienced juice maker either, because he had so much tape on his goddamn blade, I guess he was afraid that he was going to lose it, that Moxley runs his head into the stairs and then walks away to draw the camera and the attention of the people and the fans, so you don't see Uno get the fucking deal off of his wrist. Except how do I know he got it off his wrist? Because when Moxley walks back over to him to pick him up, there's like 6 or 8 inches of loose tape hanging off his fucking wrist where he's just taking it out. Oh my God, I don't know how you get 6 inches of loose tape from removing a blade. Anyway, but then he distracts while Fat Ass gets his color. Moxley goes over and flips a bird to people on camera. And then at one point, Moxley gets on Fat Ass and cross faces him over and over, and the guy just stands up and picks Moxley up and hits a beautiful pile driver on him, and a second one, beautiful pile, and got a 2 count. What the fuck? And then the guy's got so much juice, and now Moxley gets the choke, the sleeper choke on him, and he's squeezing the blood out of the guy's head, so it's squirting out on the mat, and the referee stops it. Moxley won't let go, so now he's a full-fledged heel. Here comes the other Dork Orders in, and they get on Moxley, but Claudio and Useless come in and get in a fucking fight, but Hangnail Page's music plays, and he jumps on Moxley with about 1,000 punches to the head, and Moxley doesn't sell him, and then, I swear to God, I'm not making this up, Page pulls out of his pocket or somewhere loops of barbed wire that he puts around his fist and punches Moxley in the head.
How stupid is that?
And, well, that's it. Moxley bleeds, but Page's hand miraculously doesn't. I'm telling you, it's this indie wrestling fucking mental disease that they've all got. That they've lost track of goddamn common sense, logic, and reality. And they've fostered an audience that will watch this if it's silly and hokey and fake, because that's what they think wrestling is supposed to be. And that's why that the WWE, for, is still with the bloodline angle and story, is still the most boring wrestling show I've ever seen right now. And they still can't win the fucking war because they won't get their heads out of their fucking indie-rific friends' asses. So there you go. So, and by the way, when he punches Moxley, everybody that's got this on DVR or whatever, slow-mo the punch. You could see it regular speed if you pay attention, but in slow motion, he's got this loop of barbed wire around his fist. And of course he knows that if he makes any contact, not only is he going to rip Moxley open, but also he's going to stick his shit in his hand. So as he swings with his right hand, he puts his left hand up completely over Moxley's forehead, and then punches with the barbed wire right fist straight over the top of Moxley's head, about 3 inches over the top, completely. Don't do shit you don't know how to do, baby. And so then Moxley's gushing blood by the time the thing's over. He gets 30 seconds of his juice on camera and they're off the air. Your thoughts on this embarrassing, self-indulgent display of indie wrestling fucking outlaw bullshit?
You know, the only thing I don't have a problem with, which may surprise you, is I don't have a problem with Evil Uno's look or weight. Because there have been plenty of fat guys in wrestling, and quite frankly, I want people who look like that. I'd rather not.
Have you ever, even Abdullah had enough weight that you could hurt, he could hurt you with it, but have you ever seen a bigger ass and a smaller set of shoulders?